Good morning, family. Today's live is going to be recorded in English language. Today I'm planning to make two lives. First one shorter one and the other one is going to be a bit longer. If you would like to take part in today's recording, number to HAYAH TV I don't think is appearing in the description of this live. The number is 00447877302923. There you go. It's so nice of you, brother.
No worries, mate.
Thank you so much.
Flask.
You can keep the cup. It's perfect. Thank you so much, mate. No rush, no rush. So the reason for this live right now is I was just told I have like half an hour of wait. And this could be a good introduction, I believe, to this live which will take place later on today. So, the theme of today's live is: did Jesus break the law of Moses? And the giver of idea to this live, because I wasn't planning to record in English language today, the giver of idea to this live was the debate which took place yesterday between David Wood and between Daniel Hakikachu. David Wood is a Christian apologist and Daniel Hakikachu is Islamic apologist. Very interesting debate. After I watched all of it, it came to my mind that perhaps it would be a good idea to make a comment about what has happened. The title of the debate:
Agree with me when I say that
is there an Islamic dilemma? Daniel vs. David Wood podcast. Is there an Islamic dilemma? Let me connect. How's it going? Most of my audience is a Polish lingual, audience. I believe that even those of you who are my brothers in nativity opposed, you're gonna probably understand what I'm about to say. But before I'm gonna make a comment about the debate, let me play the debate itself. So this and later on live today is to spread good news about this, what has happened yesterday, about the dialogue between Christianity and Islam. And it is definitely commendable thing to meet in a public forum to debate. So this recording itself and today's later on recording I'm gonna make today's live, this and live which will take place in maybe like 2-3 hours from now, is open invitation to Christians and Muslims to debate with me about the subject which both Islam and Christianity agree, which is Christ did break the law of Moses.
about to see another avalanche of apostasy because every With that, we're going to jump right into the debate, folks. So we have the time.
So link to this debate I will place in the description of this recording. But I think I need to swap because this is not going to work with that. This is going to work with this. Okay, we're going to do it now. Okay. So debate took place 13 hours ago. Nearly 60,000 people watched the debate so far. I'm starting to play from minute 5.
Timer set for 20 minutes for Dr. David Witt's.
Let's make it 6 maybe. 5 minutes, 49 seconds.
Apostate, either knowingly or unknowingly. If you explain the Islamic dilemma to a Muslim, he'll either understand that Islam self-destructs and decide to leave the religion, or he'll have to reinterpret and reject what Muhammad and Allah clearly say, in which case he'll become an apostate unknowingly because he still thinks that he's a Muslim. Either way, whether he knows it or not, he becomes an apostate. So welcome to Apostatesville, Daniel. Population U. Apostatesville has got a rapidly growing population, soon to be 2 billion, all thanks to the Islamic dilemma, aka the apostate maker. So what's the Islamic dilemma?
So what's the Islamic dilemma? I will write my number in the meantime. I had to stop because I don't want to follow the debate and pause where it needs to be paused. I will write my phone number if during this live or later on today any of you brothers from Islam or Christianity would like to get in touch and take part in this live sessions, feel free to do so. So what is Islamic dilemma?
The Islamic dilemma is an argument that can be formulated in various ways. The simple version I usually use goes like this. The Quran affirms the inspiration, preservation, and authority of the Jewish and Christian scriptures. But the Quran contradicts the Jewish and Christian scriptures on basic doctrines. This puts Muslims in a dilemma because there are only 2 possibilities. Either Christians and Jews have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, or we don't. It's one or the other. On the one hand, if we have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, Islam is false because Islam contradicts what we have on basic doctrines. On the other hand, if we don't have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, Islam is false because Islam affirms the inspiration, the preservation, and the authority of our scriptures. So if we have the Word of God, Islam is false. If we don't have the Word of God, Islam is false.
Margaret McManaman said hi. Hi sister, how's it going? If you want to give me a call and take part in this recording, feel free to do so. Number to HAYAH TV 0044 078 sorry, no O then. If 0044 then 78773 What's going on? I'm playing the debate right now, part of the debate between Christian apologist David Wood and Daniel Hakikachu, and the subject is Islamic dilemma. I will play again for you. Once again, brother, you just came up, so you know what is going on. If you never heard about Islamic dilemma is a dilemma based on teaching of the Quran. Quran is teaching that books preceding the Quran, they are truth and light and guidance for those who want to take heed in it. Basically, Quran teaches that Torah, Psalms and Gospels is the inspired and preserved word of the Most High in one place. And the same book, Quran, teaches that, I mean, maybe even not exactly Quran teaches, but Islam is teaching, having this teaching, clear teaching of the Quran in a book, that laws and the prophets is something which was inspired word of the Most High, and it was available at least during the time of Muhammad. In modern era, Islam teaches that somehow this which is according to Quran inspired word of the Most High, i.e. law, prophets, gospels, psalms, is corrupted. So one and the other, it cannot be right. So basically this is the dilemma.
Doctrines. This puts Muslims in a dilemma because there are only two possibilities. Either Christians and Jews have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God,
As Quran claims, or
we don't. It's one or the
as,
other.
as modern Islam claims against teaching of the Quran.
On the one hand, if we have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, Islam is false because Islam contradicts what we have on basic doctrines. On the other hand,
Basically what David means is that if Quran is right, the proof of the contradiction between the law, gospels, psalms and the prophets is basic teaching of the so-called Bible. Bible teaches completely different theology about who the Most High Power is, what are the rules of life, and on many occasions Quran teaches complete opposite to what the law of Moses is preaching. Like for an example, Christ is teaching to love your enemies, and this is how you become the sons of the living power, if you love your enemies. In Quran, you have to kill unbelievers. In the law of Moses, there is a law forbidding adultery. In Quran is a law of muta, which is paid sex. In the Bible, there is a law stating you will not make unto yourself any graven image, any likeness of anything. You will not bow unto it. You will not worship it. In the middle of religion of Islam, there is Kaaba, which is main place of worship for Muslims. It's an idol, and similar idol in Christianity is present in the form of wooden cross. I mean, you may be confused by now. What is this guy talking about? You know, showing two religious apologists and not agreeing with none of them. It's not that I don't agree with David Wood about the dilemma, but I would strongly disagree with David Wood on some Christian doctrines. I definitely believe and preach and prove that Christianity is a false prophet. Less idiotic to Islam. Islam is, I mean, is not hard to it's not hard to say. It's not hard to tell. Is a false prophet, but Christianity is a bit more sublime, a lie and deception.
if we don't have the inspired, preserved, authoritative Word of God, Islam is false, because Islam affirms the inspiration, the preservation, and the authority of our scriptures. So if we have the Word of God, Islam is false. If we don't have the Word of God, Islam is false. Either way, Islam is false. Therefore, Islam is false.
Of course, strongly agree with David here. So, like I said, link to this debate I will place underneath this recording is not the purpose of me sitting here to play you the whole thing. I just wanted to inspire your curiosity to go and see debate by yourself. But the theme of this life is more so what Daniel Kakikachu said during this debate in 1 hour 38 minutes. Let's go to 1 hour 38 minutes, which is a very valid point.
So, in terms of salary, you were thinking...
We'd indeed set salary expectations from the start.
Who wants an exception in a pair of 95s? I know I do. 3 seconds left. Yes,
How about no?
And all of you for coming to participate in this debate. Really appreciate you and looking forward to engaging you afterwards. So this is a shocking thing that David just said. I asked him, do the Gospels confirm each other? And he stammered, do you mean confirm as in every single detail? And he says that for the Gospels to confirm each other, they have to explicitly say,
one point, to the point Daniel made. Christian and Islamic debate are like Daniel now is making this point that he asked David a question and David couldn't answer without stammering in his voice. I would like to suggest that all Christian and Islamic debates, just see for yourself, are read from the PowerPoint. People, they don't dare to debate, people like me, for example. After witnessing the true wisdom of the Most High, which, for example, we present in HAYAH TV, none of the Islamic or Christian debaters would ever dare to debate a person like me. Because there is no problem debating someone knowing ahead of time what is the subject of the debate. You can prepare your PowerPoint and you have your 10-15 minutes. You can present to audience listening to you whatever you want. But to have proper debate, which in my opinion would be question and answer, from both sides. One person asks a question, this is the theme of the debate, which is unknown ahead of time. And during that time, when is the time for debate, another person can ask a question, and this will become a topic for the debate from another side. This would be the way to debate the truth, I would say. Because what is going on between Christians and Muslims is just basically, reading from the script. People are preparing ahead of time to the topic. They already know about all the questions. So there is no problem for Christians and Islam to debate one another. They saw other politologists of their religions debating hundreds of times. They saw hundreds of debates. They know ahead of time what the questions are. They have no problem debating this type of topics. Let's see, after today's recording, after today live, this and another one I'm going to make later on today, I believe there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands of people watching those live sessions of ours today. If any Christian or Islamic apologist will contact me to meet me in a debate, and I'm going to make it simple. The topic of the debate for both Christians and Muslims is this: did Jesus break the law of Moses? Which both Christianity and Islam agree on. This shouldn't be very difficult. Islam and Christianity, they can even get together. If you are a listener of HAYAH TV, if you have a friend who's if you're a Christian, for example, you have a friend that's a Muslim, this is common ground you can meet on, because both Christians and Muslims, they both agree that of course, Jesus broke the law of Moses, which, according to my knowledge, is not true. And to debate and destroy me during the debate would be such an easy thing to do. Just Christians and Muslims, get yourself together and give me a buzz. Even today, later on, during live, in about approximately 2 or maybe 3 hours, there's going to be another live. You can call me up, hook me up, and we can have a live debate. I have to warn you that during those lives I'm making at work, as you can see, this cabin of the truck I'm using for work today is my studio, so I make those lives whenever I can. And if I make a live during the day, most of the time it's no longer than 45 minutes. So if you would like to join me for the short debate today, that's my number. Or maybe just call me and introduce yourself, and we can set up the date of the debate for another time.
Confirm the other gospels. That's insane. That is an insane statement to make about the gospels. You, as a Christian, as a believing Christian, should say, yeah, it's the inspired word of God. Of course, the one who's inspiring Matthew, Luke, John, and Mark, the one who's inspiring them is inspiring them with the same thing. So of course they confirm each other. Of course they do. But he stammered and he said, no, actually he added some kind of weird qualification that they have to explicitly say that we confirm the other gospels. This is a huge blunder, David, and it completely destroys the Islamic dilemma. Because again, look at this.
I have to say, I really like David Wood a lot. You know, I like, you know, the way he goes about speaking to people, but he's a horrible debater, I have to say.
Structure of the argument. What does confirm mean? The whole dilemma, logically. I could have given, actually I was thinking about giving this presentation just purely on logic and logical sufficiency, validity, etc. Confirm, this is the key term. What does the Quran confirming the Bible actually mean? And you are stammering about it when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to the Gospels, but you have a separate standard when it comes to the Quran. This is a terrible, terrible inconsistency that destroys your position. And you said nothing about the claim that I made of the Christian dilemma. Jesus is arguing with the Pharisees exactly.
This is a very good point, because, I mean, definitely, if there is something, and there is something like a Islamic dilemma about preservation and inspiration of the books which preceded the Quran, and modern Islam is rejecting those books, saying they are corrupted, I mean, which is, I mean, it's a dilemma. Similar dilemma arises in Christianity. Not based on what is written per se, being corrupted as Islam is claiming, but basically Christianity claims that Jesus Christ was breaking the law of Moses, which is a lie and is Christian theology.
In the same way that I'm arguing with you. Look at Matthew 12. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath."
So, this is something which, in my history of, call me YouTuber, I have heard dozens, if not hundreds of times, as a proof that Jesus was breaking the Sabbath, coming from Christian. Matthew, Gospel of Matthew. Can I have 3 minutes? Yeah. I'm in 3 minutes, brother. So, I'm gonna have to finish. So, I will see you in next live today. Basically, Christianity is claiming, using this example of Christ plucking the ears of corn with his disciples, that this was breaking of the commandment. I will let it play without interruption, and I will comment during second live session today, to which I invite every Christian, every Muslim who would like to defend their religions.
So the Pharisees are criticizing Jesus. You are violating the Sabbath. You are violating the law. You're picking grain on the Sabbath to eat. John chapter 5. Then Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your mat and walk. At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath. And so the Jewish leaders said to the man who had been healed, it is the Sabbath.
Why in English? Marcin Wójtowicz pyta. Czemu po polsku? Marcin, ponieważ angielska debata i pomyślałem sobie, że zwrócę się w języku angielskim do braci, zapraszając. Słuchajcie, Polish audience is asking me, why do you record this in English language? Because there is no Polish politologists, neither in Islam or Christianity, who'd like to debate me. So, as you know, so maybe there will be one. Maybe Haram Hogan will debate me if he's going to see this recording. So this is why. And maybe I will make a remaster in Polish language as well. But just because it's English debate, I record in English.
Law forbids you to carry your mat. Matthew 5, 17 through 18, as we all know, this is what Jesus says. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Matthew 23. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, take note of this, David. This is important because you always like to bring up the Torah cushion. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
If a car finance deal was missold, which basically means if it contained hidden commission fees, which, by the way, it's reported
last
millions
minutes for your claim.
This is what Jesus is saying. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you. Everything the Pharisees tell you, you must listen carefully and do them. They're sitting in Moses' seat. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. Isn't this a contradiction? Isn't this a contradiction? You're telling them to listen carefully and do everything the Pharisees tell you to do. Well, guess what? The Pharisees are telling you to not eat grain on the Sabbath, not to do work on the Sabbath. The Pharisees are telling you to stone the adulterer. And then Jesus says, don't do that. Don't stone the adulterer.
Okay, I will make a comment about this because this is actually the whole purpose of this recording, to show how idiotic, Islam is. Like, to debate a Christian and to make a point like that. I understand you debating Christian, but debating me, brother Muslim or Christian, you wouldn't have such an easy time as with David would, making those type of claims. Because you can make, Daniel, you can make this type of claims to David Wood, because he's not the best debater. But try to debate me, okay? And we will see how you're gonna stand my rebuttal. And my rebuttal is coming this afternoon. I would like to invite you to this recording, which will take place in maybe next 2-3 hours. This is my phone number. Hear, O Israel, HAYAH, our power. HAYAH is one. This is why we love HAYAH, our power, with all our might, with all our heart, and with all our soul. Blessings to you, family.